What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track back here with another video looking at the best bets and drivers to watch for this weekend at Kansas. I'm excited for Kansas. It's been a long time coming since we've had a true mile and a half. I think you have to look all the way back to Vegas, which I was at that race. That was the one of the most entertaining races, one of the most entertaining mile and a halves in a very, very long time. So many lead changes, so many different guys competing in overtime, restart, finish, which ultimately led to Alex Bowman beating out Kyle Larson at the line. So again, that was just an amazing race, and I think Kansas has the potential to back that up and also put on a really good show. Kansas, Vegas, two of the better mile and a half tracks. Both usually put on a good show. So we'll see. I'm expecting big things from this race. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I think we should have a really, really good finish. And I think I have a good idea of what I like this weekend. But then again, if we look back at last weekend, really only two things I hit on was actually three, I guess. Reddick had a great day, which that was pretty easy to call. Harvick had a really good day. Another one that I think was pretty easy to call. Buescher was okay. I mean, he survived the race. I wouldn't say he had a big day, but he was pretty good. And then I told you, look at Chastain, Larson, Hamlin, Kyle Busch. They were all super fast, but the luck just did not pan their way. So, had them right with speed. Kyle Busch had what looked to be a winning car. Kyle Larson had what looked to be a winning car. And ultimately, Joey Logano was the guy that got it done at the end there. Which was okay with me because I'm a big Logano guy. But we'll move past that. We had a really, really successful week the week before that, so I can live with having a bad week. But let's now move to Kansas. And Kansas is a track recently that really has been dominated by Toyota and Fords. The last time a Chevy won was 2018. That was Chase Elliott. Before that, you have to look all the way back to 2015 when Jimmy Johnson won. But other guys, Logano, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Truex won both races in 2017. Harvick won one of the races in 18. Keselowski, Hamlin in 19. Logano, Hamlin in 2020. And Kyle Busch won the lone Kansas race last year. So if you just go through that list, and then if you can go back farther, Kenseth, Logano again, Hamlin again, Keselowski again. So this has been a track that's really not been friendly to Chevys. Why is that? I don't really know. I think it's just, one of those tracks, right, where we've seen certain manufacturers perform better than others. And I think a lot of times in these cases, history repeats itself. So I will say, in terms of if we look back at the mile and a half prior, which is just Vegas, Chastain led the most laps. He was super fast, had really good battles with Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. Alex Bowman ended up winning, which was Hendrick. Kyle Larson had a great day. He finished second, and William Byron finished top 5 as well. So in that case, Chevy was really good. They were really good. But if you remember that race, the two guys that were actually competing for it, really, if it stayed green, was Truex and Kyle Busch. They were the battle that was, if it stayed green, it was going to be one of those guys, and Kyle Busch was catching Martin Truex Jr. And I think those guys were probably the fastest on the track. The interesting thing again, too, about Vegas was we've seen now that tires have played a pretty significant role at certain tracks, but at Vegas, they didn't really have a significant impact, because if you remember, it was Larson and Bowman that I think only put on 2 tires at the last overtime restart, and they were able to hold off the field and battle for the win. So, maybe tires won't be a big issue. Maybe pit crews really won't come into play other than track position. So I think that's another thing that we have to look at. But with all that being said, I think there's really one guy that I think is going to fly under the radar, and I think you should look at him, and that's Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell has had a pretty consistent season, but he really hasn't had that one shining moment yet. And if we go back to Vegas, he was the guy on the pole. He was the guy leading the early laps. Looked like he had a super, super fast car, had an issue with the car, rebounded back to get a top 10. I think Christopher Bell is a guy, he's won here before, if I'm not mistaken, in the Xfinity series. So I think he's a guy that is going to fly under the radar. I expect him to qualify well, and I expect him to have a good day. So if you're looking for a guy that, under radar top 10, under the radar top 5, under the radar win, probably has really good odds. I would take a gamble at Christopher Bell. He's shown that he performs well on these 1.5-mile tracks. So take a look at him. I would say JGR in general. Again, just kind of going back, the history repeats itself. Toyota's been really, really strong here. JGR has been really strong here. We go back to Vegas. They were strong there as well. And then on top of that, like Kyle Busch is coming off a terrible day, as is Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin's had a lot of terrible days in the Cup Series this year. But I wouldn't rule out Kyle Busch. He won it last year. He had a great car. So I would look at the JGR camp. I think they probably are the front runners. I think Larson's the favorite going into this, but I would not be surprised. To me, the camp that you should be watching is JGR at this track. And then I'll go with the sort of history repeats itself, right? I think Kevin Harvick is going to have another really good day. He has come alive recently with some really, really consistent finishes. He's been able to find speed. He really hasn't run into a lot of issues. I'm going to knock on wood here because it seems like this season, as soon as a guy gets hot, he then has a bad day. So, in that case, I don't know, maybe we veer away from Harvick, but I mean, Harvick has had success at this track. And on top of that, he's been really, really efficient lately. So I would look at Kevin Harvick as one of those Fords that could get it done. And then, man, I want to take a gamble on this one, but I think Brad Keselowski is gonna find a way to really get out of this rough start, get out of this slump. He just has not been able to find speed, really. He hasn't been able to find like the luck hasn't gone his way. So to me, I think Brad Keselowski is a guy. He's won here before. He's had a lot of good finishes here. I would not count out a guy like Brad Keselowski at Kansas. I think if they can find a way to find some speed in that car, he can really compete here because this is one of his best tracks in the Cup Series. So, look, do I expect Brad to win? No, but Brad is a guy that is super, super clutch. He's a champion, and he just has not had a good year. And I think this is a track when you're not having a good year and you can't find the speed that you want, you can't find the way that you want the car to work. Going to a good track, going to a track where you've had success at, that always boosts the confidence, right? And so to me, I think this is a track where Brad Keselowski, who has won here, 1, 2, 3, I think 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. I think Brad Keselowski looks here and says, I'm penciling this one in because I feel like here is a track where I perform well. And maybe a confidence booster where I can get some confidence back because Keselowski, he's kind of been out battled by his teammate Chris Buescher, who's really just flat out been better than him this season, which is shocking because Keselowski is a guy that he's a future Hall of Famer, right? But Buescher has outperformed him, and I think again coming to a track like this where Keselowski has the history, has the wins, watch out for Keselowski. In terms of the Hendricks, I don't know. I'm kind of fading Hendrick this week. Would I be shocked if they win? No, I mean they come out of nowhere, right? But I don't know. Something tells me to fade the Hendricks this week. Chastain maybe, but again, I don't know. I'm fading a lot of those guys. I just feel like with the history showing what it's shown, I would look at JGR and I would look at the Fords. I just feel like this is a race where we're going to see a Ford or Toyota win this thing. And the guy I got my eyes on that I'm keen on right now is Christopher Bell. I think he's going to shock a lot of people and have a really good day. He's the guy. I think he is the guy that if you want a big hit, if you want a big money hit, take a look at Christopher Bell. That's what I'm saying. But other than that, I would look at JGR. I would look at Keselowski. I would look at Harvick and some of the other Fords. Maybe Briscoe, maybe Almirola as some top 10 finishes. But again, it goes back to JGR. I think they are the camp to watch this weekend. We will see though. I could be wrong. But I don't know. I'm pretty confident in what I'm thinking in my picks this week. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you share what you've got in the comments. We're in for a great week. I think so. We shall see. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks.